Hi, my name's Laura Barman, and I already did a video about our family subjects for the last school year, but I'm back just talking about what I did with my fourth grader. Her name's Lucy. She was 9 for the school year. She's a little bit of a young fourth grader. She just turned 10, but we had a great year, and I wanted to share some of the things we did with her. Fourth grade was a year where we changed a lot of things up. I've always used Abeka for grades kindergarten through third, or I did with her. And I used Abeka for everything from, well, not everything, handwriting, phonics, language arts, Bible, and then we did a different math and we did a different science and history. So for her fourth grade year, we did switch a few things up. I'm going to start with reading. We've always used Abeka readers. I love them. I think they're great. I love regular literature though too. I like how their reading is on graded levels, so they're just continually progressing with the reading difficulty. So I really like them holding my hand with that and making sure they're exposed to just gradually more difficult things, and then also poetry and different little bits of stories. One con is that it is like little segments of stories. So especially this year, I was feeling like she was ready to read full novels. So we will be reevaluating next year. I have the Abeka readers. I don't know if we'll do all of them. We'll definitely do some of them, because if nothing else, it's a wonderful way for them to read poetry, because they mix a lot of that in. It's also a wonderful way to do reading comprehension with your child, like really easily, because they have these graded answer keys. So for fourth grade, she had these 4 pretty thick books that she read, and all of them had questions and answers that I could ask her and just make sure she was understanding everything she was reading and remembering everything she was reading, even if I wasn't reading it. So 4 of those books were those thicker books right here. And those, you can kind of get a feel for how big those are. And then they also have this Song of the Brook, which was recommended for fourth grade. This is actually part of a series. The first one comes in third grade. So she chose to reread this one, Secret of Maple Tree, and then she read Song of the Brook. And then the last one is recommended for 5th or 6th grade, but it's actually still part of the same series. So then she read that one too. So then she read those 3 books. And then there was Saved at Sea, which is a novel that they recommend for 4th grade. So she did that. We also got the Read and Think skill sheets, which they're all ripped out, because we did all of them, but basically it's reading comprehension, and you track how well they're doing with reading comprehension. I feel like it helps with standardized tests, and because it's timed, I thought it was really good practice for her, and it only took a few minutes a day, about 5 minutes a day, and it wasn't even every day. That was probably only in the spring semester, because there's 44 quizzes. So that was reading. In addition to that, we did some just regular literature. She did The Railway Children, Half Magic, and Poppy at the end of the year, when we started doing Drawn into the Heart of Reading as a literature curriculum. We had a baby in January, so we were not doing a literature curriculum, but we did at the end of the year, we did a few units with this. And this was great, and really enjoyed it for those last 2 months. And the books that we did for that was Half Magic and Poppy. I might have already said that. Another book that I had her just read in her free time was The Borrowers. And then this is sample book ideas list that comes with this Drawn into the Heart of Reading. And this is wonderful. I really like all the books that they've recommended on there. For spelling, we did spelling with her younger sister, because spelling was something that I was reevaluating. We had done Abeka spelling. We had done a little bit of sequential spelling. And I just felt like she was still struggling, and just the reading and writing the words over and over was not really working for her. So we went all the way to the beginning and did all about spelling level 1. There's only about 25 lessons in this. So we did about 1 or 2 lessons a week in the fall semester and completed this book. And we did about 1 or 2 lessons in the spring and completed this book. And that was with her 2nd grade sister. And that was really nice to do with more than one kid. And I used the app instead of the magnets for that. So we just have 2 iPads. They each had that app installed. And then the curriculum also has these cards. We didn't really stress over reviewing the cards. I feel like we did a little bit of a quicker way of all about spelling, where we didn't belabor anything a ton, because they had already learned all those phonics and reading rules with Abeka and in levels 1 and 2. most of the all about spelling rules were special sounds in Abeka. So I felt like it was mainly review, which wasn't bad, but we went pretty quickly over that. But we're going to continue doing that next year probably and do levels 3 and 4. With her assignments for her independent work, I would also assign about 5 to 8 pages in this Abeka health book. So she read this. Then she read most of this. This is the Abeka's science, and I had the answer key to go with that. And she just had a little notebook where she wrote her answers for that. And then she also did Abeka history. And like I said, it was only about 5 to 8 pages a day that she needed to read to get through that on her own. So it really wasn't all that bad. She also read, these are Cooper Kid mysteries. So I would assign her about 20 pages a day, maybe 30 pages a day. And these, so she did just reading in general. So when she finished the Abeka and those other books, she would do these. I felt like that was all done in about 30 minutes of free reading a day or assigned reading. This year we also did Abeka Cursive, Writing with Purpose Level 3. We've always been a little bit behind in Abeka Cursive because there's just so much of it. So I think in her 3rd grade year, she wasn't completely done. So we finished up the 3rd grade cursive this year, and then we just kind of stopped about halfway through the year. We were doing, for grammar, we did Fix It Grammar for the first time. So for Fix It Grammar, you get the teacher's manual, you get the student book, and then she had a notebook, and I know they redesigned it this year, so I don't even think you're going to need a notebook anymore. But basically, she wrote the story in cursive. So I felt like when she was rewriting this story in cursive, she no longer needed that cursive handwriting anymore. And in the Fix It Grammar curriculum, we really liked, and I felt like it really helped her. It helped me. We learned a lot together. At the back of the book, they work on vocabulary. So here's her vocabulary words. I mean, if you really wanted to work on cursive, you could have your kid write these in cursive too. So I thought this was a great way to study vocabulary. We really enjoyed this and plan to use it again. For math, we did Math Mammoth. So Math Mammoth, I usually print them and bind them myself, and it ends up being about 4 of these a year. So this is just one. This is like the first half of 4th grade, 1/2 of the first half. So this is 1/4 of 4th grade. And she would do about 2 pages, actually it was about 3 pages a day. I don't know if you can see that, but we really love this curriculum. It ended up being a little more hands-on teacher-wise than it had been in the past. And I don't know if that's just having a young 4th grader or not. So we're gonna potentially switch to Saxon next year. We're leaning towards that for my 4th grader. But at the beginning of the year, I would print all of the tests and have them in a folder ready to go. Here's another one of her books that she completed. She had a little book for all of her math work, like extra pages to work the problems. And then we've always done math drills. So normally on their clipboard in the morning, I'll put like 1 math drill page. This is great if you need just math drill pages. This is just addition and subtraction. So that's good review. And then when Lucy ended up needing practice with times tables, we did some online stuff, but then I went back to just wanting like speed drills for times tables. So we actually did Abeka Arithmetic 3 had some. Let's see if I can find them. I think we did all of the speed drills in here. So you have to buy the tests and quizzes and speed drills. So we just didn't use the tests and quizzes in here. We just pulled out the speed drills, and then that's your answer key. So that was math. And for writing, probably this was like our biggest learning curve. Oh, and I forgot to say, like, it was, you absolutely had to have a dictionary for that Fix It Grammar program. Our biggest learning curve was writing. But I had heard great things about IEW. The Classical Conversations group that we are a part of has the Essentials program in the afternoon. And we opted to not do it this year, mainly because we were having a baby in January and I didn't know if we were going to be able to make it to all of those afternoon sessions. So I did some research and found that the IEW program had an online streaming video option. So I bought this deluxe package just because it looked like it was good training wise for me. And I got this teaching, writing, structure and style binder with videos that are like probably 13 hours worth. And I went the whole year. I never got a chance to watch all of those videos and do this whole binder of training before the year started. It said it was forever streaming, and since we plan to do it again this next year, I started watching all those videos this summer, and I think they will really help me as I'm helping her. I wasn't thinking that I was going to need to do the teacher training because he was doing the online streaming videos for instruction for her, and I think it would be fine, but I think I kind of felt a little bit lost the whole year because I wasn't sure what to look for in her papers. So I think those video training will be really, really helpful. So I will do that this summer, and she's going to do the next level of the online streaming. And then my next youngest daughter will also be repeating what she did. So I think it'll be helpful for me to do that. But in that deluxe package, you get all sorts of stuff. You get this, which is like a thesaurus, a thematic thesaurus for stylized writing. That's really helpful. She got this binder, which had like everything she needed was in this binder. And it was like all ready to go for all of her projects. And then this is the teacher's manual. So it's a lot of stuff, but it really helps you out. And we were really, really pleased with that program. I think she learned a lot, and we'll definitely be sticking with that. So yeah, that's about it for my fourth grader. Every morning she would get a clipboard with her cursive, a speed drill of some sort, her math pages marked, her science reader marked, her science or history reader marked, and her whatever free reading marked that she needed to do, as well as a paper that she could be working on, and her fix-it grammar. So she was able to do independent work for about an hour before the day even got started, and then probably another hour after breakfast, which is when we kind of did some of our family subjects. And then after she was done with her independent work, then she could come and ask me for questions. So that's kind of how it worked out for us. And even if I'm the only one watching this later on, this video will help me to see how happy I was with fourth grade. Side note on fourth grade, this IEW writing teacher manual is really funny because I actually didn't even see it or use it the whole year. So I did feel a little bit lost with IEW until I was getting ready to make this video, and then found this wonderful teacher's manual that had all of this information for me. So I think that anyone that doesn't do the teacher training videos but really relies on this teacher manual will probably do a much better job than I did, and I blame that on having a newborn, because it was a little interesting, being pregnant and having the baby. I feel like it did affect my school year to some extent, obviously, because I didn't even notice that I had a teacher's guide that was missing, which just kind of makes me laugh. But I hope that was helpful, and just comment below if you have used any of these things, or if you have any questions about anything that we've used. Thanks. Bye.